What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to break down UFC Fight Night, Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. Let's break down the full card. First fight of the night, we got Connor Matthews, 7-3, taking on Yadir Delvalle, 8-0. This is a last-minute matchup. There are no odds yet. Honestly, what are we even doing here? I don't know why we need this fight on a UFC. What are we looking for, a 500-man roster? If you don't have potential to be a top 20 fighter and you're not super exciting and you're not a legend, then what are we doing here? Now, Connor Matthews is none of those three. He's pretty bad. So for that reason, I'm going to take Yadir Delvalle. I don't think Yadir is anything special. I find him kind of boring, actually. His last two wins on the Contender Series were decisions. He has two knockouts. He has two submissions, four decisions. I don't know. I don't get excited to watch him. Connor Matthews is terrible, though. You definitely can't take him. So give me Yadir in a fight that's probably going to be pretty bad. What do you think?
If Matthews wants to win here, he's going to have to grapple. But he can't even do that without becoming a punching bag. His loss to Bazookia was kind of bad because Dennis Bazookia is nothing special to write home, to write home about. Him getting knocked out in the last fight he was supposed to, so it's not a big deal on that one. What's the other guy? Yadir? Decent striking. Seems to have not that finishing power. Um, might work out for Matthews here if he can weather whatever storm comes. Guy controls most of the fight. He likes to pull guillotine a little bit too much for me, but all in all, he does get up from when he's taken down and he does control. So that being said, Connor Matthews has shown me absolutely nothing on the feet, and he can't even implement the ground game that he's supposed to. So probably definitely face the better guys, but I don't like taking Dana White Contender Series guys, but I'm gonna take him here.
All right, next fight of the night, I'm showing Jared Gordon, 20-7, versus Thiago Moises, 19-8. Gordon coming in as the plus 100 underdog. Moises minus 125. So very, very close to a pick'em fight. Obviously, Moises is going to have the grappling edge if there's any kind of submission fighting here. He probably has the volume, even, to be honest. Jared Gordon might have slightly better hands, maybe like more technical, but he's low volume. He's boring as hell. I mean, I think Moises, he climbed the ladder higher than Jared Gordon ever going to get to. He's been in there with the better fighters. Like, he's got all the experience. I'm going to pick Moises, but there's absolutely a world where Jared Gordon just makes the Jared Gordon boring ass fight where he just kind of wall installs him and grinds on the fence and throws some pitter patter punches. So he definitely has the potential to stink this fight up and edge it on points, I guess. But I'm going to take Thiago Moises. He's the more dangerous guy. I think he's been in there with the better fighters. Give me Moises, but I don't know that I'm going to be betting it. What do you think?
Isn't me? I rewatched that last Gordon versus Hackprass fight. Am I the only person that thinks Jared Gordon might have actually won that fight? Like, kind of looked pretty good, and the chin looked kind of good. I know Nasrat doesn't really hit hard that much, but like, still hit him pretty hard with some hard punches in that fight. And I find Thiago Moises kind of low volume too, because he is always trying to implement grappling into his repertoire, right? But Gordon's pretty good at getting up. He's also good at staying safe on the ground. I don't think Moises' wrestling is like top notch by any means, and I think Gordon might actually be the stronger guy here. And I do think Gordon has low output. You are correct, but sometimes out of the blue, this guy has great output. 116, 141 against Nasrat. Who thought he would keep up with Hackprass in that last fight? Nobody did. Nobody thought he would throw that much. So. I think if he can keep off the ground, he's actually the better striker. And I think if he is able, I think he can push volume in this fight because he shouldn't be scared of what's coming back from Moises. Jared Gordon was known to be a little chinny there for a little bit, but I don't think Moises possesses the power to just like shot him down. So I'm gonna go on the dog here. Jared Gordon, the slight dog.
Yeah, totally possible.
Tight
Next
fight.
fight of the night, we got Denise Gomes, 10-3, taking on Elise Reed, 8-4. These odds are super wide, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly.
Minus 400.
Yeah, minus 400 on Denise and plus 300 on Elise Reed. It kind of makes sense. A lot of people really like Denise. She's got big power. But that being said, Elise Reed has lost a lot of fights to grapplers. Like that is where she gets beaten. Denise, he's not going to take her down. Or I mean, at least she's not going to like shoot relentlessly and play that ground. At least I don't think so. I mean, I think she's going to stand and strike with her. If she stands and strikes with her, Elise Reed's not a terrible striker. Like she can hold her own and make this more competitive than a minus 400 would suggest. I'm gonna take Denise Gomes to win, but I don't think she's gonna start her like she has some other girls. I am actually gonna hope that she does mix in some takedowns because that is definitely the easiest path for her. But I don't like these odds whatsoever. I think the odds should be tighter than this. What do you think?
Yeah, it should be tighter than this. But if you're looking back at Gomez's record, she's gone up against a few good strikers in her time. Uruguay, yeah, she caught her with a punch, but Bruna Brazil is a pretty good striker if you give her space, right? Same with Elise Reed. They're almost kind of like almost the same striker. And Denise Gomes did mix in takedowns there. Where she really does lose fights is where when the other girl can mix in takedowns against her. I don't see that being the case here because the two fights she lost, one was against Angela Hill and the other was against Loma, and both of those girls worked in takedowns. I can't see Elise Reed trying to take down Gomes. I think Gomes is probably the stronger fighter here. She's not the more technical striker, but I think it's like striking to close distance to get her hands on her and kind of take her down. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the minus 400. I think she's relatively safe in this spot because at least Reed's been shown to be easily taken down by lesser of a fighter than Denise Gomes. So
All right, next fight of the night, we got another women's fight. We got Luana Pinheiro, 11-4, currently skidding, taking on Tisha Pennington, 14-7. Pennington again, a massive favorite. Don't like it because she hasn't been active at all. I know she came back and edged that one fight, but I mean, like in recent years, she hasn't been fighting a whole lot. So at first I was like, could this be a dog spot? But then you look closer, and Luana Pinheiro has a serious hole in her game, and that's taking her down, like submission, grappling, fighting on the ground, all that. And what does Tisha Pennington do? Shoots takedowns. So, yeah, everything's adding up to a Tisha Pennington taking her down and either beating her by decision on the ground or potentially submitting her. But she should be able to score the takedowns. So I will pick Tisha Pennington. Again, I hate the minus 400 in a women's MMA fight and minus 400 on a woman who hasn't been active whatsoever, but I will still take Tisha to score those takedowns. What do you think?
I hate the odds here too, but Tisha is by far the better overall fighter in this fight. You said that her ground game is her fucking kryptonite, and Tisha doesn't. She's looked to strike a little bit more lately in the second stint with the UFC here, and she hasn't pushed the takedowns, but like. I think she has better volume than Luana Pinheiro. Luana Pinheiro, I find, is very low volume. Actually, really counts on her power to win fights, right? Kind of not a good recipe in the women's division. I feel like volume trumps power in the women's division because what's the aesthetics of the fight going to be like? Tisha should be stronger here, and she has got the better gas tank. So minus 400 stinks, but you're looking at a much better fighter than Luana Pinheiro.
All right. Next fight of the night, we got Young Sung Park 9-0 taking on Carlos Hernandez 10-4. I believe Park's about a minus 188 favorite. Um, this is another fight that scares me. Park has never overly impressed me, but obviously he keeps winning, he keeps getting it done. Carlos Hernandez, he's been losing, but he's been fighting good fighters. I mean, Tatsuro Taira, I mean, he upset Bondar. I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's a fairly close fight, fairly competitive fight. I'll go with the undefeated Park, but I'm not betting him because he hasn't, I don't know, he just hasn't blown me away by any means yet. And Carlos Hernandez can be pesky at times. I think Park's going to probably want to take him down. I think Hernandez might have a hole with the takedowns. So that's where Park probably has a good shot at winning it. I don't know. I'm going to take Park, but I'm not betting it. What do you think?
I'm taking Park here too because I think he's a little bit more finishing equity than Carlos Hernandez. But Hernandez being that Mexican guy, if he can weather the storm, he can definitely take Park because Park in his four fights has shown relatively low volume. In the sense though, like he is finishing guys, so I can't really say 29 in his first fight in round one. Um, he won a second fight, but he got knocked down. He won his third fight, but he got knocked down. Right, so he's shown to be hittable as well, right? That's the only thing I have a problem with. I think skill for skill, he's better than Carlos Hernandez. Hernandez is more of a journeyman with averaging mid skills, but Park, when he gets you up in the cage, he goes at it. He has the killer instinct, but he's hittable. He's very hittable, so a counter can come back and hit him. I think he's a better fighter, the younger fighter. I think he's the faster fighter. Um, Ground game has some holes on his part too. He can be taken down, but he does have good submission and good jits as well. So if he's going to finish this fight, I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I think he is going to finish it by submission. I've seen many a Kimura on his record, and those are sneaky submissions. So. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Park because I think he's a little bit more well-rounded, and I just don't think Hernandez does any. But weather that storm, and this thing could go sideways for Park.
Right. Next fight of the night, we got Luana Santos, 8-2, coming in as the -125 favorite against Tainara Lisboa, 7-2, +100 underdog. I think this is a very competitive fight. I think on paper, all the signs would point to Santos because they're fairly similar fighters, except Santos is 25 and Tainara is 34. So you got an older woman versus a younger girl, I guess, a younger woman. But that being said, you know what? Luana Santos has never really impressed me. I feel like she fades. I feel like her output is not great in those later rounds. I feel like her IQ is not the greatest, and I also feel like she can be taken down. Tainara, I thought actually looked pretty good her last couple fights, to be honest. On top of that, I mean, she does have a lot of striking background. She's got two decision losses to Shevchenko in kickboxing. I mean, she has, even though the 7-2 record, she does have more experience than 7-2 shows. Uh, I'm gonna stab the dog here in what's probably a decision. To be honest, this fight's almost guaranteed to go the cards, I believe. But give me Tainara because I just think Santos slows down. I don't know. I've never been big on Santos. What do you think?
Oh, Santos likes to strike a lot, but she is such a low volume striker. Tainara on the feet as well is such a low volume striker. So you got low volume striker against low volume striker, and Santos likes to push a little bit of a wrestling game. But if you ever watch the fights where she pushes a high wrestling pace, like you said, she slows down by the end of it, right? And Tainara is a pretty good grappler as well, as she's shown in her little stint in the UFC. So this is a tough fight because it's going to be a low volume. It's whoever gets their grappling going, and whoever doesn't tire out as much. And I'm kind of with you on that with Tainara because Santos against Casey O'Neill in that fight, yeah, she got matadored. Yeah, she got kept at range, but like she didn't have a plan B when she couldn't get in there. And even though it wasn't a high-paced, crazy fight, she looked like she was slowing down by the end of it as well. And imagine you can put a pace on her, right? So I don't know. I think as she slows, she gets taken down. I think on the ground, I think Tainara is better on the ground, to be honest with you. And I'm going to go with the grappler here because I think she's the better grappler. I think both are low volume strikers. So in that sense, I'm going to go with the guy I think is better grappler, Tainara.
All right, guys, moving on to the main card. If you haven't already, please like, please subscribe. We do appreciate that. First fight of the main card, we got a battle of the untrustables. We got a Super Sadiq Yusuff, 13-4, taking on Meyran Santos, 15-1. Santos absolutely, I mean, he's got 8 knockouts. He absolutely could chin Sadiq Yusuff because Yusuff is kind of chinny to me. He gets wobbled every time he gets rocked. Um, but he's only actually been knocked out a couple times. Like he does seem to do the stank leg and get himself back into the fight. And Santos, I thought lost his last fight. I thought Francis Marshall beat him.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I have to take the underdog in Sadiq Yusuff. And like I said, Santos could knock him out, but if this fight goes the distance, like probably we will, I think. And then I think Sadiq Yusuff can be the underdog play here. So give me Yusuff. What do you think?
Myron Santos has actually got pretty good striking if you look at it. But the problem is he doesn't put out a hell of a lot of volume. He waits a lot. And if you watch that Francis Marshall fight, he was waiting and Marshall was countering really well. That's that. And I don't know. He doesn't really use the takedowns. Didn't look so good. He got taken down 3 times, and I don't see that being a big thing here. But Sadiq does use the takedowns kind of once in a while. He's sneaky good fighter when it comes to that kind of stuff and mixing things in. We got to look at it this way, man. The 3 guys in the last 5 fights that Super Sadiq lost to were Diego Lopes, who just fought for a title, Edson Barbosa, where it was like a striking match extraordinaire, and it could have went either way, but Barbosa did take him down 3 times, and then Arnold Allen. So, I mean, Sadiq Yusuff has fought the better competition. Sadiq Yusuff has gone against the better competition. So, even in that Arnold Allen fight, he doubled him up on strikes. It's because he got wobbled in that first round and got hit a couple times. Did we think Myron Santos still has that sort of like crispness to his striking as like an Arnold Allen? I don't know. I don't think so. With the experience here, I'm surprised to see that he's an underdog in this spot, especially after Myron Santos's last performance against Marshall, where they screwed me out of a big ticket. I had Marshall fucking plus 400 on the decision. It was plus 800 in the third round, and I thought I had that one in the bag. I was making bets for the other fights already. Anyways, I'm going Sadiq. I think the experience will show through. Myron was, scathed by like we talked about Jack. The experience will catch up with you guys.
All right. Next fight of the night, we got Juicy J, Julian Erosa, 31-11, coming in as the plus 170 underdog, taking on Melky Costa, 23-7, coming back as the minus 200 favorite. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm going to take Juicy J. I don't think Costa is that great. I mean, I think his game is taking people down using that wrestling and maybe trying to get a choke or something like that there, or a ground and pound, something like that. Now, Arosa, his weakness is always going to be power punchers, big strikers. That's always going to be Arosa's kryptonite. I don't really think that's Costa. I know he has 8 knockouts technically on his record, but like he's not some huge one punch guy. And I don't know, man. I think Arosa can beat him in a striking match. And I think Arosa is a pretty decent grappler, so I'm not really too worried about him getting tapped out, I don't think. I mean, he could get blanketed. Absolutely, he could. But at plus 170, I think Julian Arosa is the more dangerous fighter here, to be honest. I think he's the more dangerous guy. I'm going to take Julian Erosa. I can't believe I'm saying that. In 2025, I'm taking Julian Erosa to win as the underdog. And I'm probably going to get laughed at here. What do you think?
I can't get to a Rosa personally,
I
but
get it, man.
okay.
I get
I
it.
don't even hold Melky Costa in high regard because like I bet against him all these times. I bet against him when it was Christian
I
Rodriguez.
always bet against him.
I bet against him when it was Andre Fili. I didn't bet against him against Nyland Sternbeck, whatever his name. Costa has this knack for like winning when he's losing, and it's an act that he has. It's like that last fight against Christian Rodriguez. I'm sure as hell he dropped the first round, but he won the other two tightly. He's shown a little bit of a better like durability in the sense that I think he could crack Rosa, but I actually think he subs him because he's more than hell willing to pull a guillotine or anything dumb like that, and he's gonna finish him. This is not gonna be some sort of technical battle. And I rewatched the Darren Elkins fight. Yeah, he owned Elkins, but he let that old ass Darren Elkins take him down and sit on him, and then he just fell over at the second time and let like weak ass already almost knocked out Darren Elkins take him down again. I don't think he gets those punches on Costa because Costa is a little bit more, defensively correct than Darren Elkins. So yeah, I think Costa weathers the storm and just taps him.
You're definitely right on that. How the fuck did Elkins score those takedowns? The guy was knocked out and he still got takedowns on
That
Erosa.
second one, the first one was legit because he's a decent wrestler. The second one, he like fell into Arosa and Arosa just like fell down. I was just like, oh my God. If he wasn't half knocked out, he probably sits on top of him, but whatever.
Next fight of the main card. I have no idea what it's doing on the main card. We got Matthias Camilo 9-2 taking on Gabe Green 11-5. I don't even know why Gabe Green's still in the UFC. I don't know why his fight's on the main card. Give me Camilo, but I don't like either of these. Like I haven't seen enough tape on Camilo to be honest. I just know that I can't really pick Gabe Green. Um, yeah, you know what? Don't even listen to my break. I haven't deep dove into this fight at all whatsoever, but I just don't like Gabe Green in general. Um, what do you think?
I mean, Gabe Green's obviously gone against better guys, but he hasn't really won anything. You got KO'd like in 14 seconds against Brian Battle. He did take Ian Machado Gary to a decision, but no one ever doubted his toughness, right? You know what I'm saying? He beat Phil Rowe, but he's not doing anything crazy. And he went toe to toe with Daniel Rodriguez. That's fine. And I'm not big on these like debut guys, but honestly, I watched Metallic's Camel from the tape, and he should fucking kill this guy. Honestly, he's got better striking. He's more technical. He's got better power. He's got better ground game. He talks about wrestling all the time. He has several Kimuras on his finish rate. Like, I know he hasn't the experience of a Gabe Green, but Gabe Green's not a killer. And this Metellus Camelo guy, from all the tape I've seen, looks like a killer. And it's just not punching. It's like getting him on the ground, like getting into the clinch, shrugging off takedowns. Like he looks good on tape. So I don't like these odds at minus 175, but I do believe Camilo should beat the shit out of Gabe Green because he hasn't fought since 2023.
All right, next fight of the main card, we got Nursultan Ruziboev, 35, 9-2, coming in as a pretty substantial favorite here, minus 300 versus Dustin Stoltzfus, 16-6, coming back at like plus 240. Dustin alternates wins and losses. I swear sometimes he looks like an absolute dog, and then sometimes he looks like he has durability issues. So it's like I don't understand how every other fight he looks different. At his best, he's a pretty good fighter, man. Like he can put on a good pressure. There's been some performances of his where I'm like, damn, this guy's not bad. Nursultan Rozaboyev, he's looked good in pretty much every fight other than the Buckley fight. He got his ass kicked in that fight, but Dustin is not Buckley. Um, I think Rozaboyev's length is going to be a problem. I don't know. I don't like the minus 300 whatsoever. I'm still going to take Ruziboev because Dustin doesn't hit the way Buckley hits. And I mean, and even in that fight, Nursultan fucking took a pounding. It wasn't like he just went out from one shot or whatever. Yeah, you know what? Give me Nursultan. I think the odds are wide personally because Dustin, like I said, at his best, he's pretty good. But he rotates wins and losses, and he's coming off a win, so he's due for a loss. Give me Rozaboyev as the pick. Again, don't love the odds. What do you think?
I'm gonna take Ruziboyev here too, but just a little bit buyer beware here. Buckley won that fight easily, and Buckley took him down four times, and Buckley was able to stay on top of him for various good parts of that fight, right? So, I mean, Dustin Stoltzfus uses wrestling on a regular basis, right? So, if he's able to employ his game plan, which I think is going to be grappling and sitting on top of Ruziboyev, raining down punches and keeping control, he can win this fight. I'm just not sure he can get there because the wrestling is not the same degree as what's his name, Buckley. I mean, he took down Punayel Soriano, who is a pretty good wrestler as well. He did take down Bruno Ferreira before he got Spivak Fist. He took down Dwight Grant, took down Mearshad four times. I don't know, but then you get a couple things where he got taken down by Rodolfo Vieira, who we've seen doesn't have the greatest wrestling in the world, and you couldn't take him down. So, anyway, point is, I just don't think he can get to Ruziboyev in this spot. I think Ruziboyev has shown that he can crack with the best of them, and he has a decent get-up game. Buckley is just a good wrestler, right? And I just don't see the same thing from Stoltzfus. That's all.
I don't even know if Buckley's necessarily a good wrestler, but he's just a fucking beast of a human. He's just an explosive motherfucker.
He
Like
does have that
hard to
wrestling
deal with
background
that.
that nobody ever talks about, right? But Stoltzfus, I don't know. He does like to wrestle. Control doesn't seem the greatest, though. I mean, and Ruziboyev has a ton of submissions off his back and bullshit like that. And Dustin has got submitted off his back by Mearshad and shit. So let's go.
All right, co-main event of the evening, we got Paul Craig back at 205, 17, 9-1, coming in as the plus 300 underdog, massive underdog to Rodolfo Ballado, 12, 2-1, coming in as the minus 400 favorite. Again, odds seem wide to me. Every Paul Craig fight is a very versatile or volatile fight. Sorry, very volatile fight because Paul Craig obviously can be knocked out by anybody and he can catch anybody in a Hail Mary submission. And every now and then, even though his bad of a striker as he is, every now and then he lets those hands fly and cracks guys. So like it's just every fight is so volatile with Paul Craig. I think the only thing you can count on here is that there's going to be a finish. So whoever you're betting, it's going to be by finish. Bellato, I'm not sold on him being that great. Two fucking losses to Vitor Petrino do not sit well with me. Petrino has already been fraud checked. He's not really that good. The only thing I can say is, Bellato's never been submitted. So, but Paul Craig fucking submitted Ankalaev, who'd never been submitted either. So just because Bellato's never been submitted doesn't mean he can't be submitted. Very volatile fight. I'll be looking at like the under 1.5 or something like that. Like this fight is gonna finish. I hate the odds. I guess I'm gonna for like the pick tracker and all that shit. I guess I'll choose Bellado. And props to the pick tracker for that. Like I can't believe you can track everybody. Good for you. That's pretty incredible. I'm gonna take Bellado for the pick, but I really don't like it. It scares me, and the odds I think are horrible. I wouldn't be wanting to bet him at -400. What do you think?
Bellado, he's this powerful striker. Um, uses all power because I think he sort of got fraud checked in that fight against Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute owned that second part of that fight, and he tired so bad, got knocked down. He knocked down Jimmy Crute, couldn't finish him, and then Jimmy Crute wins a draw because he wins the last two rounds because Bellado can't finish it off, right? What's the difference between Jimmy Crute and Paul Craig? Probably the finishability of Paul Craig's a little bit better if he gets in that spot, right? Whatever, man. Paul Craig is not a great striker, like you said, but he likes to wing it. He's a man's man. He's a dog of a dog. And the guys he's tapped out are the guys that he's tapped out are it's the crazy list of guys, man. It's a Andre Muniz, it's a Nikita Krylov, it's a Jamal Hill. It's an Ankalaev. Like that's the list of guys that he's subbed, right? And yeah, he lost to Volkan Ozdemir is a good puncher. Johnny Walker was a good puncher. Brendan Allen, who's really well rounded. Brendan Allen again. Kai Barallo and Bo Nickel. Like all that list of guys would have a fucking field day with Rodolfo Bellado. A field day. So yeah, I don't give a shit about the pick tracker. I'm gonna take Paul Craig because I think just one of those fights. Every fifth fucking fight he wins, he comes out of nowhere. This is the kind of guy he can come out of nowhere against. Some guy that's middling. So I don't give a shit about my record. I'm going on Paul Craig because I think there's very good value on him. Because he pulls a fight every once in a while out of his ass and
Fucking right, buddy.
fighting good
For
guys.
the record, I fucking love Paul Craig, so I'm happy you picked him.
Yeah, but let me put
I
it this
like
way, like
guys like that. I
his last
fucking
three
like
fucking
him.
fights was Brendan Allen, Kai Barallo, and Bo Nickel. Like he wasn't supposed to win any of those. Like those are too hard. And now after facing all those guys, now you get Roberto Bellado.
Yeah,
Uh,
listen, if Paul Craig loses, he's gonna fucking lose like a man and go out on his shield and get KO'd and fucking who cares? We all want to see it. Paul Craig fights are fucking awesome, man.
yeah, up to this day, Kai Barallo never knocked him down. He just was overwhelming him, right? Like let's just put it that way. Anyway, whatever. I'm kidding. I
I
don't give.
love the pick. I love the pick, buddy. I love it. All right, main event of the evening. We got Gilbert Burns 22-8 taking on Michael Morales 17-0. Seems like a complete mismatch, a complete passing of the torch. I love Gilbert Burns. Like I shouldn't say I love him. I like Gilbert Burns. Like he seems like a good dude. He generally seems like someone like just good energy. Like the guy. Nothing I can't talk any shit on Gilbert Burns as a person. As a fighter, I think he's fucking chinny. And I think he's fucked here. I think Michael Morales is one of the better prospects. I don't know why they've been moving him along so slowly, to be honest. I've kind of been every fight I keep saying I want him to face someone better. Like fuck, put him in there with a fucking Ian Gary. Obviously people are gonna say, well, he doesn't deserve that shit. But he does. He's 17-0. He can fucking knock people out. I know some fights he's been kind of low volume and he's carried the fight or drug it to a decision or whatever. But trust me, he can crack. He can strike with anybody. I think he not has a field day with Gilbert Burns. I think this is an absolute mismatch. I think it's an early knockout. I think it's a retirement for Gilbert Burns, which is sad to say. So obviously you already know my pick is Michael Morales. But fuck, after this, give him fucking practice. Let practice rebound against a striker and Michael Morales. Let them fucking strike it out, man. Because I think Morales is gonna fucking beat him too, man. I think Michael Morales has a very high ceiling, and they need to get this guy moving. But that's enough about where he's going to fight next. Give me Michael Morales by knockout in a kind of a disrespectful send off for Gilbert Burns. I mean, Gilbert Burns should not be fighting a young stud up and comer. He should be fighting someone old, like another fucking legend or something like that. Whatever. Michael Morales by knockout. I'm rambling here. What do you think?
Well, he's not taking him down. I'll tell you that much. Joe Burns, 92% takedown defense. Michael Morales has shown on numerous occasions that he dictates where the fight goes. If he wants it on the ground, he's the guy that's going to take it on the ground. I don't think he does here. Um, I know you said they're moving him up slowly, but I was just while you were saying that, I was looking at his fights, like his last three fights before this one, Burns. It's a good progression. I mean, he beat Max Griffin, who was that middling. Then he beat Jake Matthews. Then he beat Neil Magny. Now he's going into the low end. Where's Gilbert Burns? So now they're gonna move him into like the number 8, 7 spot after that, and he's making a slow progression because I think he's very good. And you know what? Yeah, low volume, but his low volume is like I think it's gone now because it's 83, 72, 83. Like, yeah, I guess he's not throwing at high volume, but he's throwing at good volume, if you know what I mean. Like he's like throwing out like crisp punches, like dictating where the fight is. Like this is not like, oh, this guy threw 171 strikes in 3 rounds. Well, fuck, if you're just gonna run at a guy and punch at him, son, it's gonna happen, right? But like a good calculated 80, if you ever watch his tape, like,
They're
and on top
technical
of that,
strikes. Technical.
yeah, and on top of that, he dictates if the fight stands or if it goes down. It's him. I I don't see how Gilbert Burns wins this fight, and yeah, man, this fight's gonna be a kickboxing match. Gilbert Burns has shown the better kickboxing later on in his career, but I just don't think it's to the level of this young guy. That's it. And Gilbert Burns on a couple of occasions has shown his chin isn't theirs anymore. I mean, yeah, that JDM shot was kind of lucky, but whatever. It is what it is. He couldn't eat it. Uh, Marlon Vera would have eaten it, right? So like, so it is what it is, man. So at the end of the day, Morales wins it by decision. He wins it by whatever he wants to. So I think submission decision line. I'm sorry, decision KO line is probably the best way to go. Get your best dollar on this guy.
I'm 1,000,000% on the knockout here. But yeah, no, I mean, well, either way, you're gonna get extra juice. Take it because
Yeah, I don't
he
know,
ain't gonna
man.
submit.
Like sometimes these fights that you think finish don't, right? It's so like ridiculous. And fucking screw you.
All right, there you have it. There's our initial picks. We'll be back Wednesday or so when the props drop with our best bets for the card. Honestly, I feel like a lot of underdogs are live this card, so it could be a good spot for betting, to be honest. But we'll get to the bets in a few days, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.